Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication.
Mercy TV, another Cobra episode.
Hello, and welcome to Mercy TV, your source for news and information on the cannabis issue, with a focus on the medical side, as that issue unfolds here in Oregon, across America, and around the world. Greetings. I'm Perry Normal. This is Sunny. And the man you see running around in front of the curtain and behind it is producer PK. Visiting us via phone is Sam, a member of our organization for many years. Here we are, as we said, in the age of COVID, with everybody with their own medical cannabis delivery devices, some separation. We have your disinfectant to apply liberally, and so forth.
Well, and it's what has happened in the time when I've been able to talk with Sam about some of these issues that a lot of people have called in and talked, just like what Sam has said about the pain issues. And the people, you know, Sam, they've talked to me about pain issues like you have, and they're using cannabis too. And, you know, they like you, and they're using cannabis and getting good results. Don't you feel that's, you know, that's a good deal?
Yes, pain is one of the many things that cannabis is useful for, along with nausea, spasticity, the swelling, the
inflammation, definitely.
The loss of appetite, the inability to keep food down, and sleep. With folks and their inability to sleep due to one reason or another. Usually it's because, again, of some other symptom like pain. And we're just scratching the surface, really. This is the stuff, the main stuff that we, the people, have experienced and networked, and so we have this body of knowledge that's known by those who have been cured or had cured a loved one through the application of medical cannabis. And now this information's being, more codified, I guess. People are writing it down and practicing it and so forth, and adding to the body of knowledge.
Well, and don't be talked into that the cannabis is, no good, because it is working, and we're getting a good results from it. And, the other pills, we need to work a little bit maybe with some of the other pills the doctor's given, but let's get some good results from the cannabis and not get just the cannabis cut out of our systems,
Well, the fact that cannabis isn't recognized as having medical value by the federal government has given license to many people here in the state of Oregon to try and get rid of the medical cannabis law entirely. And if they can't do that, they'll cripple it so much that it's unusable, and they'll just chase as many people as they can out of the program, and that's a big problem for us. I mean, that's why the program isn't what it was voted in to be, what the people intended it to be, in need of legislative repair. And I think that starts at the top, though, with the propaganda still going on and keeping medical cannabis prohibition still in place at the federal level. Now, there is activity going on in Congress to continue to pass more laws to enable folks to utilize medical cannabis, but the crux remains cannabis prohibition, and we still have to get rid of that, get that done. And I think that's part and parcel with the whole trying to keep democracy in America in general. You know,
Did you find out?
Excuse me. This is why you need to write your legislation and tell them your opinion is about cannabis and ask him what his opinion about cannabis is. Because it is a medicine. It's an ancient medicine. And 1937, the prohibition started with the cannabis and the hemp. And do you see what happened? Hey, I came across using olive oil and cannabis to make a healing oil that I rub onto my aching joints. I got carpal tunnel. I use it for my mouth. I use it for many things. I've shared this with other patients and seen my results.
Well, the last time we was talking with Sam, the gummies, how did those gummies work out?
Oh, they're nice. They're really nice.
So,
I like the euphoria. I don't think it's an adverse side effect. So yeah, CBDs are okay. But I do indeed like the THC. And I'm sure it's good. That's where most of the medical utility lies.
so depending on your system and how your system is breaking it down, that's where you as the patient, because each patient needs to do that. Because Sam being the patient, he needs to let, and that's what he's saying right there, he let his body break it down, and he worked with the body, because his pain, he only knows his pain. So if your body is breaking it down for your particular pain or your particular whatever your condition is.
It all depends on how you ingest the cannabis product, either by gummies or by smoking it or by rubbing it on as a tincture.
Or drinking, you know, because a lot of people make a lot of different kinds of drinks with the teas, you know.
that's the simplest and easiest to apply, is to simply soak it in some hot water, mix it with some of your favorite tea, and consume it that way.
Or mix it in with your oil, whatever type of oil you have. If it's good oil, you can mix it in with that. It only takes 28 days to get the full molecules that are out of the cannabis into the oil, and you just have to let the oil sip through a colander or so, strain it through a couple times so you get all the particles out, and rub it on you. Or just take a little sip like I just did and let it sit in your mouth and coat your gums and your inner mouth. And then you swallow it. And then you're digesting it. And you're letting all your organs absorbs the THC and the other molecules that are in the plant.
And if you let your doctor explain it, he will explain it more in a better term, you know. And that's what's good. When you explain to him what's going on with you, he'll be able to explain it in a more better term for you, you know. Because the cannabis is working, you know. And Sam, you know, how long has that cannabis been working for you?
Oh God, since the first time I tried it, 40 years ago, I don't know.
That's a good deal. So we have a lot of patients that have been, and that's the good thing, that we know patients have been calling and working with the Mercy Center and coming and working, and you know, that's why it's so good you know.
There's something to be said about the euphoria. I mean, if you're prone to depression,
Right.
prohibitionists are going to tell you, well, it causes it. Well, that's not the case. You're gravitating towards it because it makes you feel better. So the euphoria is not an adverse side effect.
Yeah.
And say if you're terminal and no one can do anything for you, at least you're going to have a better quality of life. You're going to have an appetite. You're going to, and there'll be the euphoria. There'll be an enhanced mood. There'll be, you'll sleep better. It's just
Your
a win all the way
appetite.
around.
Right, and I think the other side of that, there's two main points. One, it's effective medicine; it works, and two, it's safe. A lot of people are talking about the CBDs and CBNs and how it's nominal to zero THC involved. And that's all well and good, although it's still not helping to end cannabis prohibition, it seems. We got
Voting. Voting.
we can't let this fear of the THC continue. We can't let it continue to be a bogeyman. I mean, that's the reason why prohibition's on still, because they can keep the reefer madness nonsense going about how concentrated marijuana now affects you, so that you...
It's Frankenweed these days.
Right,
Not,
and...
not Grandpa's weed.
It's
Good.
now 30%, Well,
Yeah.
okay, we'll put aside the fact that they claimed it was outrageously potent years ago. So now it really is, and so you were lying before, but now you're,
Really lying.
So it's kind of all their propaganda nonsense to say, so what? There's just no evidence that actually mentally affects people, physically affects people either. You don't die from it. It doesn't cause insanity. It certainly doesn't cause death by insanity or any other means. It doesn't cause cancer. It cures cancer, if anything.
Here, here.
And on and on. And only when we end the war can we end this bullshit, which is all the pressure being applied to prevent studies and knowing how and to maximizing the benefit of medical cannabis on, everything,
This is why you need to write to your registration, and when it's time, vote and help your neighbor understand what the issues are.
Well, and the quality of life,
Yeah.
because the people are the ones going through and suffering all of these conditions.
Well, cannabis prohibition is preventing us from looking at all of these conditions, to being them honestly studied about how cannabis, the pros and cons of it on any condition. But to even talk about having cannabis used in mental health issues, to allow cannabis for spiritual purposes.
The expansion of consciousness, that's the reason they hate it.
And the whole circle of the spiritual to the health, to the medical, to the whole body health of just pure hemp foods, to the industrial applications, to the environment being better thereby, to our economy being better lives from the use of industrial oil and so forth. The whole circle of cannabis use needs to be allowed by ending cannabis prohibition. And that's done, as PK says, by everyone registering, voting, and getting everyone...
to your registrator. Or even
and voting smart, so a lot of, I got to be registered, but, where these guys stand on the issues.
Very important.
There's a lot, find out the old-fashioned way, as PK suggested, contact them.
Thank you.
And get that, and then
You can take your
network
mask off.
what you know with your friends and neighbors and your coworkers and everybody in your circle. It's networking that does it. I mean, not to make a bad example, but QAnon, man, they networked their shit. It was bogus lies, but they networked the hell out of it, And we should do that with the truth, and I think we'll get better results, really. But it needs to be said that we need to continue to register and vote and get everyone we know to do so also. Even in these off election years, in 2021, when nothing really big is happening, you still want that effort.
When we can bring it up
on,
and
you know.
talk about it.
You want it constantly, man.
And that's the importance, because everybody is suffering, and when you can talk about it and keep showing that people are suffering but getting good healing with it.
Well, I hope, I pray that this COVID-19 episode has exposed how we've allowed us to not to have science and medicine kicked to the curb. You know, back in 37, when they made marijuana illegal, they put forth all this reefer madness of downright lies. And medicine and science, the doctors were pushed aside. They were criminalized and punished for trying to speak the truth. And literally, you know, check the ritual. And I think that was where, you know, situations like the COVID, like we experienced, people saying that, oh, it's, you know, this or that, and putting down science and medicine, having it, you know, literally mocked and ridiculed and made, oh, you're lying. And now these people have their lives, their families threatened and bullshit, you know. It's like the freaking witch trials, or the Galileo, you know, being
persecuted,
and, you know, almost losing his life for trying to get the truth out about the universe and stuff. So that leaves us as also an opportunity to let medicine and science and truth rule, and to do what's necessary to change the laws and end cannabis prohibition and other things like it forever, by having a system that makes sure that we have facts rule and are the basis for laws and their application and enforcement and so forth. So that's all I can say on that, although I'll try to have some more.
Well, and what is, so many people are learning that the different conditions are helping them with the cannabis.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the modality, you guys are talking, many of our shows, we talk about the different ways to consume it. Used to be that we heard from the doctors, oh, well, I don't know about this smoked medicine thing. I was like, well, there's other ways to apply it. You know,
edibles.
Consume it orally in a number of ways, and topically, you know, as we were talking about before, rubbing it on, and the number of conditions that works with is just incredible, you know. And when we talk about mental
everybody
health,
likes a gummy. Everybody likes a gummy.
we're not just talking about stress and pressure and all those things, but we're talking about traumatic events too. PTSD, tremendous with it. We're talking about traumatic brain trauma.
It took your head.
All that, you know, all those things that affect the mind and body. So too can cannabis be a part of that, a positive part. You know, nobody's died from it, from overdosing, or and none of these tales of somebody looking at marijuana and going crazy and jumping off the roof of the building, or, you know, nonsensical things like that. You know, that there's no truth to those. It's a safe, effective medicine, and we, the people, should have access to it. We should be able to grow our own. If nothing else. I mean, if you can grow your own freaking tobacco, then, you know, what the hell? So we should be like our forefathers, the Washington, and the Jeffersons, and the Ben Franklins.
That's where the farmers had to have 1/3 of their fields as a hemp crop, and they found that the hemp plant was, you can smoke it like tobacco.
Several times.
And I wanted to say thank you to Sam for speaking on the show today, for the, you know, about his issues, and, you know, because that's really nice, because the other people can hear, you know. Thank you, Sam. You
Hey,
know?
no problem.
Well, because a lot of patients don't understand, they don't realize, that they're not the only ones that have the pain and using the medicine, So
Right.
they, it's a big deal, There's a lot of people out there.
And then the patient community now, we talked earlier about how the law has changed for the worse. And now folks like Sam, instead of relying on a network like we used to have with the Mercy Center and affiliated organizations and growers, and the availability of medicine, now folks like Sam are reduced to depending on the dispensaries. And they're not even dispensaries; they're the recreational shops, really, because I don't think we have an official dispensary where all the cannabis and all the modalities at the exact rate it should be is available.
It's terrible. I was talking with somebody about that the other day, about that we should have a thing for the veterans they should be able to go in and pick up their bags, and not have to. Yeah, they get a little % off, but they should be able to go in and grab.
Well, they're not paying taxes.
No, but they
and
should.
A lot of people make a big deal about that,
like
they're getting away with something like it's
a
welfare.
bag, go in and go. Oh yeah, where's your butt? And go in and just reach in and grab some,
Right?
Because that's theirs.
Well. And it shouldn't be that way, we had a system that worked well, despite what the state police lied about, saying it. And there was growers could take on multiple patients. There was excess medicine.
Help.
It just needed to be properly networked.
That's real help. We need to be able to help them. Give them help. Because they need help. That's what it's all about. And people don't understand that that's what it's all about. Trying to give them some help when they need it, because they need some medicine,
And you can grow it yourself. It's very easy. You don't need...
But the laws were changed here in Oregon, and other states have experienced much the same thing. Montana's law was gutted. There was a big pushback during the Bush years, and
that's what we need to do.
And it's kind of been it's hard to say what's been going on with the Trump years. Mostly, we didn't see any advancement. You were thinking that we'd be just on the cusp with now, almost 2/3 of the states having some form of medical or recreational law allowing it, that it would be,
Yeah, you would think.
it's not so hard, but it's like
fighting. It's a fight.
Here in Oregon, every time we try to do something, we have to go through it all over again,
It's like we're fighting this current.
Everything that we thought we proved before, we haven't, and then we have to do it all over again. Every patient
ridiculous.
has to go through their whole history of medical use and how cannabis is the only thing that worked.
And
we have to get like 100 people doing this just to get even a hearing, even the simplest thing.
Can we please do this?
Can we have an extra? Oh, please, sir, can we have an extra plant? It's like the
please,
gruel, Please, sir.
That's what we need.
And they keep putting people who like almost hate it. They hate the people. They hate the program. Marijuana's evil. It has no medical value. You're lying. And is
that's what's
out
wrong.
to prove us wrong and shit.
And that's what's wrong.
It's not even looking at a fair judge every time we try to ask for something.
And that's what's so wrong. And we got so many people suffering, and so many people hurting, and so many people that are really, if we could get it a little bit more help and along they would do so much better,
Right. And so that's what we're here, networking the information. We appreciate Sam for dropping in here and contributing.
What do you think, Sam?
It's all good.
And
Thank you.
No problem.
Brother Sonny, hanging in there, doing the show with us. Good to see you, bro. Producer PK.
Hey, thank you all. Thanks CCTV.
Oh yeah.
But I want to thank Dr. Lebeck.
Oh
I
yeah.
want to thank Kelly, which was a longtime member of the Mercy Center.
Shauna and Mike,
Mike, Shauna,
who built this station to help us do the
George.
show, get us through the day. Our friend Reed out there, hope he's doing okay.
and Grandma Janet. She is our fellow religious. And Henry Turner, who wrote the
Who's still
opening
with us,
line.
and
Please,
very active out there in Louisiana. Visit the Mercy Center Louisiana page for links to Henry Turner Jr.
Yeah.
and his band Renowned.
Oh man, because you know he's out there helping somebody
CCTV,
else.
Comcast, please, thank you.
Very much. And everybody stay safe and, do the...
Get with the program. See how to at mercycenters.org. Drop us an email or try to give us a call. And you can even give Sonny a call.
Hey, but
At...
give us a call. Please. Have
Yeah,
fun
I'm good.
and go fly a kite on a good day.
I'm good.
We will see you next time on Mercy TV. And do not forget to visit also My Garden. You can see it here on Channel 23 if you're watching us here and there. Or visit our website, mercycenters.org/TV is our Mercy TV page where you can link to our YouTube account and watch to your heart's delight.
And thank down in Eugene, Cannabis Connections.
We'd like to take this moment to shout out to our fellow and feline networks, Eugene Cannabis TV, Cannabis Matters, I believe is still going on in Portland area, and podcasting. Who's still doing podcasting? Oh gosh. What's that chap's name? Oh well. Do a search on it and find it. Also, do a shout out to Oregon Cannabis Connection. Visit our website. We have a link to it at the bottom of our webpage.
Peace and victory. Vote. Please be responsible.
So adieu. Till next time. And remember, register, vote, and vote smart. You can also, again, visit our website, mercycenters.org, for all the tools and more. All the networks to join and make these things happen.
And
Thank
remember to stay safe and tell all your blessings that you love them. There
Yeah.
you go.
And we'll see you next time on Mercy TV.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friends. You want to say anything before I turn it off, Glenn?
Yes, good night.
Good night. God bless you all, every single one of you.